My brother, we here.
Yeah, I'm
Video
here.
about
Excellent.
Veefriends Series 2. Nice to see you again. Very excited to do another video today. Today, we're going to talk about Veefriends Series 2. We're going to launch very soon. It's expected to happen in April. So the topic of this video is going to take a look at Veefriends Series 2 and try to define a strategy on how to best enter the market, bearing in mind that they're not out yet. You cannot buy them yet. I think it's good that we have this conversation so that we can plan best and try to get in the best possible way. Now, I'm going to take into consideration that at the moment, there is a way to get into Veefriends Series 2 by being into the whitelist. But since there is already a lot of information about how to get into these whitelists, we're going to leave that on the side and we're going to say that we want to get into Veefriends Series 2s on the secondary market. So the idea of this conversation is how to best get into Veefriends Series 2s in the secondary market once it's already released. So a little bit of context first. GaryVee is teasing Veefriends 2 a lot. He's saying it's going to be insane. The flipping of VF2, so Veefriends Series 2, going to be bonanza, whatever that
Flipping
means.
a bonanza. What's that? Flipping a.
I have no idea.
It's like a made up word or something.
Uh, I think VF2 will be a flipping bonanza. It sounds like it's going to be something crazy. He's also saying that VF2 is going to have a little bit of utility, not a lot. So it's mainly going to be a collectible with, he said in different occasions, with a little surprise. So he has different things in mind, but something for sure is that it is going to be insanity. Insanity, because when you look at the return on investment of all the Veefriend projects so far, VF133X, Book Game 45X, Uno Cards 8X, Zero Cool Cards, that's the one that we touched the other day. So they actually sold for $2,300 a box of 10 cards. And that now they're already reselling for 10K on the secondary market.
Wow. The secondary market of zero cool cards, which one is down? OpenSea or where is it? Or eBay?
eBay, yeah. So now some key information about Veefriends Series 2s. We know that the mint price is going to be below $1,000. So we can say about 0.3 ETH. And the supply is going to be 55,555. That's a lot. Here's an overview of the different characters. I mean, it's not all of them. That's just an overview of some images he released. So you can see very Disney style. Yeah, tell me your impression.
What I think is, man, I don't know. Like, I really love the ones, the BF1. The Veefriends version 1, because those are like handmade and they're like with the paper and pen and that's it. These ones are like more colorful, like more like you just hired someone from. I don't want to disrespect
Go ahead, man. Tell what you think.
I wanted to respect like the drawings and everything and the art, but this. I mean, if I see this, it's just like someone from Fiverr made it. Can you make a chicken? Can you make a giraffe? Something and then just make it with colors and that's it. Doesn't look like that unique, that like touch of like Gary, you know? Like if you see these cards, do you think Gary was behind? Like Gary drew them? Did he do it?
And I think that's amazing that you have a strong opinion on that. Listen, I think those cards, those NFTs are going to be crazy. There's going to be a crazy investment. And that, regardless of how they look, they mean a lot in terms of the Veefriends community, in terms of the IP. I mean, GaryVee has been saying that from the very beginning. He goes for the Disney adventure. He goes for building an IP. He goes for doing collaborations with Uno, with many different companies. He wants young people in Brazil to have a backpack with this legal chicken. He wants to do, animated series. He really wants to build an IP in all different ways and include these types of playful characters. I understand your point, right? It's different to have an NFT that's been hand-drawn and then turned into an NFT, something that Gary drew himself.
I mean, if we think about like NFTs, the art is like the least thing, right? I don't like the art. I really don't like it, but the utility, I'm pretty sure like GaryVee is not going to disappoint anyone.
I think there's going to be a lot of demand, and even 55,000 sounds like a lot. I think we're going to see a lot of them selling for a good amount of price. Yeah, now the question is a bit how to play VF2 on the secondary markets. And for that, what I wanted to suggest is that we take a look at his last book, 12 and a half. In this book, he explains the key traits that that person has to have in order to be successful in business and in order to be happy. So there is a lot of adjectives that are very important, like gratitude, self-awareness, accountability, optimism, empathy, kindness, tenacity, curiosity, patience, and a few others. So when you look at Veefriends Series 1, what I've done is that here I've taken these adjectives from his book: humility, kindness, patience, gratitude. In the world of Veefriends Series 1, those ones, they're the top characters. They're the one that resell for a very high price. For example, if you look at Passion Peak, the one resell for 21 ETH. Accountable Ant is also a big character. Empathy Elephant, one of the biggest one, resold way above for 55 ETH. So there is about 15 characters that have those adjectives. Those ones are a big play in VF1 as well as in VF2. I mean, a lot of the original characters from VF1 are going to also be in VF2.
You know what I think? A lot of people that have like these characters of VF1, they want to match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can afford, VF1 is always the play. That's something that Gary is constantly repeating. You know, people ask him, should I get 10 of those or one VF1? Should I get that or one VF1? And he's always saying, get a VF1. That's going to be the best NFT ever. You know, if you're going to drop a considerable amount of money on VF2s, like 10 ETH, then you'd better save a bit more and go for a VF1 for sure. But here is more like, okay, if you have 0.3, 0.5 or 1 ETH and you want to play around, so what do you get? Whatever has this adjective in VF2 is a no-brainer. It's one of the best VF2s. It's probably going to be a lot more than just those 17 characters. It's probably going to be about 100 or 200. So when you look at them and you look at the names, for example, Humble Hedgehog, the 17th, Humility. Humility is very big. So you know that one. If you see it, for example, for below 0.5 ETH, that's a good investment. His main price is 0.3. In Gary's word, it's going to be a flipping bonanza. And I think one of the very, very big ones also is that one here, Accountable Ant. Accountability is in Gary's ecosystem, in Gary's world, very, very, very interesting attribute, a very threat to have. When you go back into VF1, you can see that Accountable Ant, for example, that's a core, that's not rare. It resold for 20 ETH, whereas the floor at the moment is 16 ETH. Gratitude Gorilla.
Gratitude is one of the traits or like the words that Gary like says a lot. Gratitude and empathy.
Gratitude, kindness, building around kindness, like kind kudu. Patience is also a very big adjective of Gary. Patient Panda, resold for 53 ETH. You know that if you have a way to get one of those in VF2, although it would not have the same collectibility as VF1, the same utility, it will only be a collectible. It's a big character. So I will not go, I mean, if you want to drop some money, I will not go for any of those randomly, right? I will try to first make your research and look which characters have those adjectives. If I had to decide at top 5, I will take one we already saw, the Gratitude Gorilla. I think it's the character, one of the biggest characters.
Really? At the time, what was the floor or what was the price for the Gratitude Gorilla?
So there was basically a Dutch auction, meaning that the minting started at price at 2.5 ETH all the way down to 0.5. And Gratitude Gorilla, I think when the price was going down at around like 1 or 1.5, it was already gone. Those types of behaviors for VF1 will also apply for VF2. So if you see a Gratitude Gorilla around the floor below 1 ETH, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Empathy Elephant, that's a very big one. Bearing in mind that GaryVee's one is called Empathy. Yeah, Empathy Elephant is a very big one. Patient Panda, also very big.
So all these are core, right?
Yeah, all these are core VF1s, and rarities are not the same in VF2. It's more about different backgrounds, different poses. For VF2, the rarity is going to be different. They're all going to be one-of-ones because they all have a very specific background with a specific pose, like that or like that. But for example, here, that one, you see 2, that's the evolving pose. And the evolving pose, you only get it if you have a VF1. Every VF1 holder is going to receive a VF2 in the evolving pose. You cannot mint an evolving pose.
Evolving poses like this.
With the evolving pose, you see the original VF1 in the VF2. So Patient Panda, kind warrior. That one really looks amazing. And being a warrior, for me, it's being an entrepreneur in a wide society in the jungle, but at the same time trying to be kind and build something meaningful. And I think that represents a lot of what GaryVee is trying to build. There's so many people identifying with that. Even if the NFT doesn't have utilities, this still has a lot of meaning for GaryVee, his fan base.
Like a kind warrior, you fight the hate with kindness.
The last one is the very, very, very lucky black cat.
That's beautiful, man. Something that I like about these drawings.
And instead of being negative about being a black cat, that now we're starting to become positive. Oh, a black cat. I'm going to have a very, very lucky day. Very, 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 very lucky. Black cat is also the icon of Veefriends. So when you go to veefriends.com and you see it's on the logo. If you go for VF2, and you're not going to try to be on the whitelist, then definitely analyze those characters, those attributes, those threads that we've shown here. And here's my top 5 pick. If you buy that on Segway Market at a good price, everything's going to happen in 1 month, but there's very little and vague information. Gary is always providing with some hints, but not everything. So just to recap, if you want to go into VF2 in the secondary markets, do the following. Take these adjectives, look them up into OpenSea. And then when you look the market on OpenSea for VF2, then try to find those characters in VF2 at a low price. That's the first thing. Then if you want to go for my top 5 picks, you can also go for those characters. I mean, they're all included actually already here, except for very, very lucky black cat. And then another thing that I would suggest to do, besides from top characters based on the threads that are on GaryVee's content on his books, there are some that have been said GaryVee is going to develop a lot of IP, a lot of content around it. And it's the motivated monster. That's a very big one. The adventurous astronaut. That's also a very big character. Take those 15, 20 characters that we've mentioned and then look in the market, especially the few first hours, the few first days. There's going to be a lot of undervalued characters that you can keep and flip later or hodl for forever if you want to. If that's been useful to you, if you want to see more content about this, feel free to subscribe, to like the video, and we're going to try to bring you more content about this. See you in the next one, man. Take care. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao.